And we're live. Hey guys, welcome
Hi.
back. I'm here today with Dr. Vida. I'm sure you guys already know who she is. She's an amazing cosmetic dentist from LA, specifically Orange County. So, and I just do not understand geography in the States, so I just put LA. I've changed it now though.
Around there.
I've changed it now though, so we got it right. How you doing?
I'm doing great. How are you?
Yeah, good. It's quite late here, so I'm relaxing with my cup of tea, as all Brits do.
Oh, that's amazing. I see some light out there though. When does the light fall? The
Oh,
window?
another hour. Yeah, another hour or so
Wow.
till
It's
we
like
get.
summer.
Yeah, we're right in the middle of the longest days in the year right now, so it's pretty cool.
That's awesome. Well, thanks for doing this so late for me.
It's cool.
Yeah,
I prefer
it's
I
like
prefer
it's
later.
noon here. Me too. Yeah, don't get me at 8 in the morning. I'd rather do afternoon.
Yeah,
So, yeah, I am about an hour south of Los Angeles, and Los Angeles is like a huge county with 88
yeah.
cities, and Orange County is another county below it with 38 cities. But I am going to LA tonight, so
So is it a different
not
state
too
or is
far.
it the same state? It's all California, right?
No, it's California. It's California, but it's like there's LA, then there's Orange County, and then there's San Diego, and then Mexican border.
Got
So,
it, got it. Guys, just let me know if the sound's all good for anyone watching. Um, yeah, I guess the first thing I want to ask you is
yeah.
all to do with your road into dentistry. 'Cause I know things are different in the States. People have to start thinking about things. We start thinking about what am I going to do around 15, 16 years old because we pick our degree at 18. You
Right.
guys are a bit later on, aren't you? So what was your journey through kind of end of high school to end of undergrad like?
Right. So at 18, we go to university or, college, and then it's usually 4 years there. And then during that time, we're taking a whole bunch of different courses along with a lot of emphasis on the, subject that we want, like science, for example. So most doctors end up doing biology or chemistry. And then you can even switch, and it's not until, your second or third year in college or university that you decide med school, dental school, they're all different entities, different, completely different.
Yeah.
And so originally I always wanted to be a doctor. In high school, I was like the class president and always super involved, always really outgoing and like president of every club. And I thought some sort of leadership role. I thought politics for a moment, but I really wanted to do like a makeover surgery,
Yeah.
which is funny because I did not want to be a dentist. I was thinking plastic surgeon or maybe even an ER doctor. And then I grew up in Las Vegas. I was born in LA, grew up in Las Vegas, which is about a 4-hour drive away in a different state. And then I went to Malibu, which is back in California for college.
Yeah.
And then I decided there that I was going to go into dental school like about 2 years before graduating from med to dental. And I went to dental school back in Las Vegas where my family was. I wanted to be with, my family and my parents. So moved back into home, which was really a great idea. Highly recommend if you can, do dental school with the comfort of being home and like that support from your parents, do it. And then after 4 years of dental school, I was 27 when I graduated. I knew I wanted to go back to
Yeah.
California. So I purposely only got my California state license at the time. So I could only get a job and practice in California. I was forcing myself to go do my dream, even if it was alone. So here in the States, depending on what region, you take a different set of boards of exams. And so that gives you a license for either the West Coast or the East Coast. And then you have to get individual state licenses, and you can have multiple at a time.
Mm.
So I ended up getting my Nevada one as well. But I moved out to California, and I thought originally I'm going to, work in Beverly Hills. That's where all the big doctors are. And started off in Los Angeles, um, driving an hour and a half to work from Long Beach, where I was living, and an hour and a half back, and really had a rough time, transitioning from school
Yeah.
to a really high paced environment. I was in corporate dentistry. Most doctors here start off in corporate. I think maybe now, because of social media, there's more connections to private practices. So maybe like the next generations can go into private practices because of social media. But when you're a baby, 7 years ago, which is
Mm.
when I graduated, it's like you get your first job where you can, and it's usually they work you really hard. But it gave me like a lot of experience. It was really tough. My thumbs, I was
Mi-
seeing,
Mine hurt, but
a
I think
lot of
that's because
patients.
of texting as opposed to any
Yeah,
dentistry
maybe
that
it's a
I've been
different
doing.
reason for you.
Different problems. Do you think
Different
do you think the
problems.
distance of your drive was a big factor in why you
Hmm.
struggled? Because I did my first
Yeah.
job outside of university in a place which is lovely people in the practice. I really like them, still get on with them to this day. But it's an hour 15 from home where I am now. And
Yeah.
I lived right opposite the practice because I said
You live
I
opposite?
am not traveling and I'm not moving out of
Hmm.
home to then travel as well. So I literally found somewhere which was on the same street opposite. So I wake up, walk over the roads. But it was great for the first 6 months because getting used to the
Hmm.
pace of
Exactly.
something new where you've not got somebody looking over your shoulder all the time, telling you what to do, what you shouldn't do, making your own decisions. I wouldn't have been able to manage that and a stressful commute, hour 15, hour 20 every morning.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm like you. Now I live 4 minutes away from my practice and zero point 0.8 miles away. So I've like walked there before, but I drive
Yeah.
normally. But yeah, my first year, you have so much energy. You're so excited to be a dentist, and like you do what you have to do, and you do it like willingly with a lot of energy. And so I did get burnt out. I had other things going on that made me quit. My mother got really sick with cancer, so I left that job.
Mm.
Um, but it was a good first job because it just gave me a lot of speed and a lot of confidence. I wasn't working under another doctor. So sometimes here in corporate, they leave you alone
Okay.
and you're the lead dentist. So I honestly have never worked with another doctor. I think that's why I have a lot of dentist friends now, because I like to like go and shadow, hang out, see, get some insight of what people do at other
Yeah.
offices. But I've never ever worked with another doctor. I've had multiple jobs since that job, and it was always like lead position just right away.
That's very different
And
to
so I
us.
was left
Yeah.
alone.
We don't
Yeah.
have this idea of a
I,
lead position and then people working underneath you. The patient comes in for us and it's generally you deal with what you can deal with, and if you can't deal with something you refer out, as opposed to maybe I don't know how are your practice structured in that way.
yeah. We do that too. I mean, we can do that, but I think that when you're left alone, I mean, at least for my personality, I'm a problem solver, so like I'm going to try to fix it.
Mm.
Um, and it's only like recently, after 7 years of practicing, that I've realized that it's not always beneficial to do that, and so now I refer. It's really funny. I used to do oral time extractions, like give me some really impacted thirds, and I'd go for it.
Yeah.
And as of the last year where I'm like transitioning in my own office to cosmetics, I'm like, you know what? I'm going to give it to the oral surgeons because that's their expertise. And I need to focus more on what I want instead of just trying to do it something that like I think you learn with experience and definitely like struggles and burnouts. So I've had a plenty of those.
Yeah, I think I'm lucky.
Yeah.
I kind of learned that very early on.
Really? I was going to say you're still young, so you're probably still doing it.
Well, I don't know if you guys know. I only qualified in 2017, and I took 10 months out to travel. Then I worked for 18 months, and
For
then
that
COVID hit, and now I'm back in work again. So really, I've only been a dentist for not very long. Um,
2 years.
yeah, around 2 years. But
Yeah.
I think because I connected with a lot of people, I took on experience that my clinical years don't have. So I've made
Right.
decisions.
That's so
Yeah,
important. Yeah, I would advise other people not to necessarily do what I did, but like go work with someone who's seasoned and who can teach you. Like get a mentor, which I didn't really have.
Yeah, I mean, I've totally cheated with the whole mentor thing by doing intensive insta because I don't, well,
Yeah, why do you do that?
I'll tell you what's coming. This is an exclusive, by the way. So someone who's watching the podcast is going to get a complete exclusive. I've been in chatting to a whole bunch of endodontists. We are doing a 20 episode series on how to do endo. So all the way from like Karina, Brett, uh, Abs Endo,
Right, good,
Perry
right?
Endo. Yeah, loads of people. Brett is my guy.
Awesome.
He's my number one guy.
He's such a
Uh,
he's such a good person.
so
It's such a small community,
mm,
honestly. So like thank you for creating it as well, like helping create it. Like when
thanks.
was Dentist of Insta born?
Well, do you know I said I went traveling for 10 months and I needed people to show me around. So
No way.
I
Really?
look, Dents of Insta is really good in terms of a community, but I am my very, very core looking out for myself in some way. Like
Okay, good to
there is
know.
I no, I if I can help people along the way, then brilliant. But I've done, podcasts which has helped me get good at speaking to people that I don't really know. Um
Right.
Dents of Insta has been really good to just connect with loads of people from across the world. Added bonus for
Loads of
me
people.
that when I go somewhere, if I go to Chicago, there's like 10 guys who are like, "Oh, come stay at my house and we'll take you round," and all this kind of thing.
Yeah.
Um, and then professionally, I'm now being taught one on one by the best clinicians in the world without having, yeah.
Yeah. But did you know that that was gonna be the pro of this? I don't probably not. You probably did you really?
I I'm that guy that sits there and thinks about something and goes, right, what's the most outrageous thing I can do? And then I try and do it. So
Yeah. What's your sign?
I don't know.
When's your
I have no idea.
when's your birthday? Oh my god,
September.
I could teach you something. What?
September. Yeah.
September
24th.
Libra?
I don't know.
I think you're a Libra. That's nice. If you're a Libra, then it means you're really balanced and you're very charming. People. Probably. Maybe not.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
We'll see. Well, yeah.
Cool.
I don't know how much I get into all that kind of stuff. I'm quite a spiritual guy, but I'm quite religious as well. So I take my spirituality that way. I know you're quite spiritual as well because you're writing with Christian and Danielle, and obviously Brett, and those guys are hot on their yoga.
I'm writing with
Yeah.
that group. Yeah, we're a tight group. Yeah, I very like them. I feel like they're like my siblings. Every time I get interviewed, they come up.
Well, if I go on your story, oh look, there's Brett,
Yes,
and or there's
yes, so true. We
Dr.
just got back
Graves.
from the mission
Yeah,
trip. I'm like their number one fan. Danielle's coming next week to visit with me, and for all those people who are like, "Who's Christian Danielle?" The dental
dental
yogis.
yogis.
Yeah, we just went to Dominican Republic in February in the middle of the pandemic. It took like a huge leap of faith, a
Mm,
huge risk for them, and we all went out there and we did things right. We were vaccinated, we were careful, but we like helped 104 patients in Samana, which is like a little village in the Dominican Republic, and it was just an amazing experience. And we brought spiritualism to mission trip, which is yeah, a lot of the things that tie us together. But along with the spirituality, like it's something I've always been into. I was like born with it. It's just like a sense of
mm,
intuition and manifestation, like some sort of internal faith that has basically got me where I am. A lot of my hard work has too, so I'm very realistic. Like it's funny because I'm such a dreamer. Like I'm an Aquarius. I know you don't know what that means now, but like such a dreamer and so out there, like really futuristic thinking, always like ahead of people
mm,
when it comes to like ideas. But then my moon sign is Virgo, which is my OCD side, very realistic. So I like to like live in both worlds. So I feel like all my hard work has got me here, but also all my visions and visioning of what is possible and like believing in the universe and myself in the same time.
I feel like this is
Yeah.
a very
Does that
American
make
sort
sense?
of thing with science and all that. I've
Okay.
not really come across it ever before. I think you're the first person who's ever spoken to me about this,
Okay.
so I've learned something new
Yeah, let's
today.
talk about this. I know that a lot of dentists know what I'm talking
Mm,
about, and we're not all just dentists. There's a lot of aspects to us. So, when I talk dentistry, I like to like incorporate a
something
little
different.
bit of faith. Yeah, the fun stuff too. I mean, it's all a little fun,
Yeah, no,
but
I there's
yeah.
there's so much. I think that is the best thing about kind of the creation of the community that I see it as. In that
Hmm.
I try not to let people talk about their work. Like they'll send me a
Pretty much.
picture of a before and after to go with their actual picture, and I'm just like, we don't
Oh,
really want that here. This, there's iDentistry and all these other pages for that, and it's more about
true.
like, who are you? Like who are you? Because we're
Okay.
all
Well, you
dentists.
want to know who I
Like
am?
we're all dentists, but yeah. So who are you? That's kind of the idea behind it, and then like obviously a podcast is like the next level step of that. So people who like interest me will arrange something, and here you are.
Yeah, here I am. Yeah, I've been wanting to be on here for since like
Yeah,
December, I think.
yeah. It's hard to
So,
arrange
but
these things, isn't it?
yeah, it was hard because I'm like, well, no, I'm working this day. I work a lot.
Mm.
I had to take today off, and so to do this,
Just to do this, I'm.
I'm like, what a great excuse! Like it's a Friday. I love it. Yeah, but yeah. I mean, I was seeing you. I wanted to be on here. I want to contribute. I want to contribute
Mm.
something. So I don't know. Ask me something. I guess. What could I teach someone?
I,
Something.
yeah. I mean, I guess we want to hear more about your journey. That's kind of what interests me when I speak to someone, because I
Mhm.
mean, yes, we're gonna do loads of stuff, on Instagram Live, and all the stuff which we're doing on there is gonna be how tos and like talking about treatment and all that kind of
Cool.
thing. For me, it's like, what was your reasoning behind going towards cosmetics? Why did you ditch the
Right.
other stuff, and
Mhm.
focus in on that, and how's it kind of gone for you?
Yeah, it's going really well. It's really exciting because I feel like I'm just getting started.
Mm,
And I think that it's going to go really big. And I just need people to know that what I do is an option for them and it's possible. And I can make it extremely comfortable for them and not a scary thing. Like, I feel like that's one of my fortes um, as being a doctor, like just being able to connect with people and like making them feel very comfortable where it's not an uptight, situation and it's not scary. And just like to enjoy the process with them. I have my own office. I started it 2.5 years ago
yeah.
from scratch, startup,
How
no
how's that?
patient, zero.
How is that process? Because I've thought about this a good few times, but more in terms of the logistics of how does a front
Yeah.
of house look? Where do I put a cone beam? And where, like how many surgeries is it going to work with? Do I need hygiene therapists and like all that kind of thing? It's like, it just goes like, oh my
I
God,
wish
it's
I
so
was more
much.
like you. Yeah, it's overwhelming when you think of it like that. It was overwhelming for me, but I never like my mind doesn't work that way. Again, back to spiritualism, it's more like just seeing the vision, but not worrying about the little tiny numbers.
Mm,
I don't worry about numbers. And I think that because I haven't worried about numbers, I went ahead and did it.
yeah.
And if I had looked at the numbers, I don't think I would have done it because people were like, "You're going to open up an office with zero patients
Mm,
in the middle of Orange County." Yeah, so back to my story, I guess.
yeah.
I got burned out in LA and because of my mom and my dad moving to Orange County, and I didn't even know where that was either. I mean, it's an hour away, but I thought nobody lived here except for like all of those reality TV shows. I don't know if they play them over there, but like Real Housewives of Orange County and like
I think there's a
Laguna
channel which just
Beach
does
and
Real Housewives only on repeat all day, so I'm pretty sure we can get it here if I wanted to.
well, it's a really nice area is what I'm trying to say.
Right, it's like
And it's less
pretty high.
congested. Yeah, it's beautiful
Yeah.
too, and it's like by the ocean. There's a lot of beautiful places and it's really safe. It's really suburban. Um, and so I ended up coming down this direction, and the opportunity of the office space opened up because a friend periodontist of mine and I had been talking for 2 years about maybe starting an office together 50-50.
Yeah.
And he comes to me, and it happened to be my mother's birthday 7 months after she passed away.
Oh
And
dear.
it was on my mom's birthday. And he goes, there's an open unit in the shopping center in a really nice neighborhood that's already built out as an old dental office that was there from like the 80s with the chairs, 5 chairs. You want to go see it? I was like, how
I'm
much
getting
is it?
interested now. There's
Yeah,
5 chairs
how
there.
much is it? Oh, 5 chairs and a space for a cone beam. Piano. Um, yeah, and so anyway, I was like, okay, it's my mother's birthday.
Mm,
This is 7 months after she passed away. I'm in the middle of a depression. And that's another thing we can talk about, just mental health and like
yeah. Yeah.
just all the emotions that goes with dentistry. And I was like, I'll take it as a sign. Let's go see it. And
Mm.
we went to go see it, and I got really excited because it was free. It was free.
Oh, we're
The
getting more
practice was
interested now.
free. The chairs were free. There was TVs for free.
Yeah.
Everything was that was in there. There was a autoclave and it was free.
Oh,
It
so
was
all the
just
fixtures and fittings were kind of included. They didn't want to deal with it, so they just said just have it all.
yeah, because the doctors that were there retired, and the young guy that took over 5 years prior did really well. It's a really good spot, like
Mm,
really good energy. And he did really well, and he built out a brand new office and took everything with him, all his patients, and left it and was still paying the rent on this space. So all he
right.
wanted was me to take over the rent. And so I went to dinner with him, and he's like, "Yeah, just take over the rent and you can have everything." And I told the periodontist, "Let's do it." And he said, "No, I'm good. Never mind. I don't want the
He's all
responsibility of
talk.
opening a practice." And I was like, "Well, thanks for the hookup."
Mm,
And so I quit my job, and I was like, I have no idea what I'm doing. No clue. I had a little bit of money saved, and I just started remodeling while I like built the brand and business.
right.
I'm still working on the brand. I mean, that's like an ongoing thing. But all the little things that you would need. And then a few months later, I got my old assistant from my other job where I had been working for like 3 years and come help me. And it was just us two. And, she's my office manager now. She helps me a lot.
Mm,
But it's turning into like a dream practice where it's almost very boutiquey. I'm very busy.
yeah.
I struggled a little bit in the beginning, but I'm catering it more to cosmetic dentistry, which is going to
Makeovers.
be me. Yeah, and in the future, there's going to be other doctors helping me with the general,
Mm,
but I'm going to be there. I'm doing right now. I'm doing everything, but in the future, it's going to look like all the comprehensive exams or consult. And then, I just have a periodontist that just joined me. She's awesome. So a lot of in-house stuff,
yeah.
but I'm going to be doing the big cases, which is what I like. And that goes back to what I wanted to do when I was in high school, the makeovers, the healing, feeling like I'm changing someone's life for the better.
Mm,
I honestly think that after like I do a small transformation on someone, I feel like their life like explodes. And
changes,
it
yeah.
might not, yeah, it really does. And I love like seeing that change because I have like a connection with every student, and like seeing them like kind of just take off. It definitely goes like this. Like I feel like all of their lives do. And I think that's beautiful.
Yeah. I don't
So
know if you saw the video. I can't remember who the dentist was, but there was a lady who lost all her teeth, and then she'd had like all
okay.
on four implants, and you could see the change in her before and after, and she was like really thin, and then she was really happy and crying afterwards and stuff. So kind of reminds
Yeah.
me of that. I can't remember who
Yeah.
the guy was that did it.
Yeah. Dr. Trev.
Yeah, yeah, that was him.
Yeah. He's we all know each other. He's about an hour away from here. We're supposed to like meet up sometime,
Yeah.
but since COVID, it's been tough. But Instagram's nice to just keep the conversations going
Mm.
and be like supportive of each other. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
he's great.
that kind of is what it reminds me of what you were kind of talking about there. So that's really cool. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, I guess like that initial period, how difficult was it to do remodel whilst also trying to get patients in the door? Were you seeing patients at the same time to keep things ticking over, or how did you manage it?
No, I didn't have all that. It took a couple months to gather everything because, like, I had the chairs, I had the space, but I didn't have any equipment or instruments or, any materials or anything like that. Like, even down to the license, like, you had to wait for all these things to just start up. So I wasn't practicing. So those like 4 months, I didn't practice at all. And then we opened the doors and had like a book schedule on November 6th. And it was actually because of Instagram, because I was posting the journey on my
Yeah,
private Instagram. And so I was like posting the journey so people knew that it was coming. And then a couple weeks before, I was like, DM me, to make an appointment or whatever. And then most of the people in the beginning were all
right.
family and friends. And then it kind of just trickles by referrals.
Yeah,
And
word of
so that's kind of
mouth,
how it's still
and you get it from there.
exactly word of mouth. And then you just do good work and, people will know about it.
Yeah,
So,
I think that's really key, isn't it? For anyone who's kind of watching, get good first. Although I've done everything the opposite way around, so ignore me. Um, but get good first,
get good.
then
Oh,
get
get good
known,
first.
then get known. I seem to be known for not much, and then I'm trying to get good now. But that's
I'm
really
sure you're
important.
great.
Well, I've only done 2 years, so like I'm as good as someone 2 years out it can be, I think. And I only want to do endo, so I pretty much spend all my time looking at that. So yeah, we've got a couple of questions. So the Jam family, oh, not
Oh, we
questions, comments. Jam family says visionary, and there's a couple of emojis. And the yogis are here. There's Dr. Vida, you're our hero, and Dr. J, we're all selfish. Love your honesty and authenticity. Thank you guys. Yeah,
so, oh, thank you.
I think that's down
That
to my
makes me
comment
feel a
about
little bit
I
better.
started everything, out of selfish intentions, but happy to help along the way.
Oh, we're all selfish. I don't know. Honestly, I kind of want to be more selfish.
You have to find a
I don't
balance.
think I. What? I'm
You
sorry.
have to
You have
find a
to find a
balance
balance.
between like,
Yeah, I don't. I don't. I don't really think I am. I think I think I'm really giving.
mm,
I think I'm really, really giving. I give away so much dentistry for free, too, but I don't think about it. I don't care. And I like do it because I want to give.
mm.
Like I just want to give. So my first year practicing, we wrote off $240,000 that I gave away for free.
All right. Well, don't
And
you guys have loans and
yeah,
stuff?
and last year there was probably another 250 or maybe $300,000 that I gave away for free too. But sometimes, especially like when you're growing a business, like I don't do it intentionally, but it does come back to
Mm.
you. It comes back to you because first of all, you get a case, you get experience, you make someone happy, they're going to talk. Maybe you can get some good photos, which is very important. I don't have any photographs of the first 5.5 years that I worked
Yeah.
because I didn't think my photos were that important. I didn't take the time to document. I was more like more worried about the comfort of the patient, and now I realize that like it's a part of my
Yeah.
dentistry.
Yeah.
Like we will take photos because well, it's important to document the befores so that people sometimes remember. Sometimes patients don't remember what they look like or had.
Mm.
And then it's also important because what we do is an art, it's an art, and how are people going to know what you do if there's no record? And now it's so common because of social media. That's a very important thing. I think, if you want to be a good dentist and be able to help more people, you need a photograph.
Yeah. I think that's
Yeah.
really key. Like I'm actually doing a lecture tomorrow to some dental students, and it's all about social media. But one of the key things that I always talk about is take pictures of everything, because even if you never post these things, you can look at them and you can
Hmm.
go, wow, I was so good at this bit, and I just didn't put enough bond on,
Yeah, and
or
like see,
you can see and just stick it on a big screen, and I don't know if you've got friends like this, you'll just sit there and just rip your work to shreds, and then you can
no,
learn
no, they
where
don't.
you can improve and stuff like that. So um but that can be really useful. That's probably one of the reasons that I do feel like I improved, week on week, compared to
Mm.
maybe people who don't. And I don't like be over the top about being good or anything like that, but it's all about taking that kind of effort and doing that extra little bit more. And also, I'm
Yeah,
obsessed with cameras, so I'm always going to take photographs of things. So yeah.
I love that sign.
Same.
I want that for my office too. Maybe in gold.
Get one that doesn't glow so bright though, because I wanted this to balance it out a bit more, but there's too much blue.
Great with the skull.
I wanted a bit more red to give that glow, but the red's,
It looks
yeah.
so cool. I love it. Yeah, I wanna bring more LED into my next practice. Like I wanna start another office and I wanna make it like a dance party.
Yeah, neon's really good. I've got these are neon signs, and you can take some really cool photos and stuff. I always think that would be really cool for a waiting room. Patients can come and like take some really cool neon photography while they're sat in the waiting room, and it can be a whole thing, like an influencer thing.
There's so many ideas. I know. I want my next office to be like very spa-like as
Mm.
well. Um, yeah, so I'm already thinking of more. Yeah, but I don't know what I was saying. We were talking about photographing. We were talking about dentistry. We were talking about how I got to the OC.
That's it. Yeah.
Yeah,
So yeah, you had
yeah.
your practice going really well, and then you started getting some like bigger clients, didn't you?
Yeah, I got some big ones. Like Cardi B got her, teeth redone at my office. Um, just like a few things, but like I feel like lately a lot of bigger cases.
Yeah.
So a few years ago, you take like a picture of like one crown on the interior and like that's a big deal. But now I'm seeing a lot of veneer cases. I think that we're in dentistry at the right time. Like we're getting recognition. Maybe 10, 15 years ago, dentists weren't that cool.
Mm.
And now it's becoming like the new hip plastic surgeon.
I think,
So I always
yeah,
tell
your
my,
kind of bracket
yeah,
of someone mid 30s or early 30s, you've done your work to get, proficient. And then social media is just booming at the time that you're now thinking, oh, I need to advertise. And it's just taking off. And there's people like yourself. There's
yeah,
Sam Saleh. There's Dr. Appa. And a few other
yes,
guys who are really top of their game. But it's just come at the right time for you guys. But it's kind of
right.
sad for the guys who were
With the
5 years
baby.
before, because this all wasn't here then, and they're probably not into that social media
Yeah.
that much. And there's definitely jealousy in the UK. There's definite jealousy with the guys who qualified early to 2010s, getting really good
Okay.
and growing with social media because it's part of their life. The guys who qualified mid 90s, 2000s just don't get it, and then they see
They can hop in, right? Don't you think they can hop in?
they
I feel
can.
like, yeah, it is definitely part of our
Mm,
culture though, like our generation. How
I'm
old are you?
29 this year.
Okay, so we're
Yeah.
millennials. So yeah, I'm 34. We're 5 years apart. But yeah, it's really hard because even like the Gen Z is completely different. They have like a sense of they're even better than us at like just getting things out there
Yeah.
and like hopping on trends. We're more like creators and they're more like they just get it out, which is also very helpful. And that's what I'm trying to do now with Instagram. Just
Oh,
post
TikTok. Oh my god.
because uh, I don't have time. I am
I
so
need a
busy,
guy like
I'm
Chris
like,
from Dr. Graves' office where he just follows me around, he just videos things, says things, and I reply to it, and he posts it. Like, if I can,
Chris.
Dr. Graves, if you're watching, can I borrow Chris for a couple of years, and I'll
No, no,
send him
no.
back.
He's supposed to come with me first. I already talked to him about this.
Yeah.
So funny. No, I'm sure that there's some college students or that would love to like be honored to help you. Like put out an ad and I'm sure like, a 20-year-old who maybe is getting into film, or something could come help you. But Yeah, I'm starting to film more of just the story behind of the small transformations that
Mm,
I do. I'm going to start posting. I think we just posted something right now. It's just a very quick snip of, a patient who found me because of Instagram, and this will be
cold.
this will be the third time. This will be the third time that she's getting veneers because they just haven't been good,
Right.
good enough, right? Maybe they were good 20 years ago. Her first set was 20 years ago. And now I'm like, okay, I think this will be it. Like, this is the last time.
Mm,
And they're going to be amazing for her. Like, I just know it's going to be so good. Um, but it's just so cool. So I'm just showing more of those things of what happens in the office because I think it's quite interesting, to shadow me all day. But a lot of good conversation.
yeah, I'm sure.
But yeah,
I'm
so
sure you're like me that if someone was there just prompting you, we could be really funny. But we don't have someone prompting us, so it doesn't come out.
exactly, I'm hilarious. And when the camera comes on,
Yeah.
I'm not that fun. But just how normally I am.
Yeah, honestly,
Yeah.
Dr. Graves' account is just incredible, and I'm taking credit for at least two of his videos over the last month or so. So
Oh yeah.
the fasting one, so a couple of those, there was some little snippets from my ideas, but yeah.
I feel like I introduced you guys. I think it was me.
Did you tell him to send me those photos? Was that you that did that?
Yeah, it was me talking about you, and then us talking about you, and then us, me talking with him about you, and then you and I talking about him.
Yeah.
But I think it's because I was in tech spend. Yeah.
Oh, when I posted that photograph and all the,
Yes,
the
yes,
the fake
yes.
drama happened.
Big drama.
Yeah.
It was good. It was good. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's really good at creating, like, you know,
Yeah, just
content.
making it a thing. Yeah.
Making it a thing.
Yeah, that's something that I think we both need to try and do. The thing is though, the Gen Z, it's almost like Gen ADHD because the videos are so short. This is what I've
They're so
realized. This is
short.
what I've realized. There's guys like, oh, lovely lady, Dr. Chapman from North Carolina, I think. North Carolina. She sent me this really, really good video. And I swear, 15 years ago, this would have gone so viral, but it's a minute long.
It's too
It's too
much.
long.
But it's kind
It was
of we're at
a
fault for
great
making it
sketch,
shorter.
but it's way too long for these guys. And they just go, someone wrote, I can't believe that I wasted 60 seconds of my time on this. It's like they just don't have the mental space for something that's just a little bit of a
Yeah.
slow builder.
Same, same. Like I have, all these IGTVs go out
Mm,
lately, and it's getting tough because I'm like, oh, this is great. 4 minutes, 3 minutes, it's a whole story. But yeah, like even those videos are getting cut shorter so that they can be posted as reels now.
10 seconds is my
Uh,
limit now. I try and aim for 10 seconds on my
But
reels.
people don't even know what's going on in 10 seconds. And that's what bothers me. What
Yeah.
bothers me is like there's that part of me that's like detail oriented and I want the story explained. I don't want anything, misconstrued. Um so I don't know.
Well, you
I'm
don't have
gonna
to
try
tell
to
me
find the
because
happy medium.
I'm fighting hard against it. My idea is Instagram is low effort. So absolutely, the easiest thing
So high
possible.
effort.
And then try and push him towards my YouTube where I'll do a 4-hour podcast with Dr. Graves. We'll talk about aliens and God knows what else happened then. So then because I love listening to a podcast where people really get into something and go like really, really deep. Like we are today, going with
Yeah.
social media and probably the next thing I want to talk about
Mhm.
is your what's the word, philosophy with restorative and aesthetic dentistry. I think it's very different in the States to what I see here, and I'm probably more on your side when I think about things than on what we do here. So it's really interesting.
Could you expand on that?
Yeah.
Like, could you expand on that a little bit? Like, what do you mean by my philosophy?
So in the UK, there's a big boom of composite veneers.
Yeah,
So
I'm seeing
you
that.
get
Some of
you get your edge bonding, which I think is really good. Invisalign, whiten, and a bit of edge bonding to reshaping. But there's also guys doing a full facial veneer in composite,
yeah, I've seen some of that.
and I just think it's a nightmare waiting to happen. from what I think.
Yes, I completely agree.
And I would
Yeah.
rather have. I mean, I've had edge bonding to close some gaps, but I had a university professor do it because I'd kind of like made a little deal with him. I did some little menial task that he didn't want to do, and then he did my
Bonding.
yeah. There was I had like big diastemas between my twos and threes. In fact, I might get him to present the case because he's going to be leaving that job soon, so he can now freely talk about things. So I can't wait. um, but
Talk about my bonding.
so we maybe I'll bring that case up and we'll present it, but won't tell anyone that it's me, like who is also the
Okay, I'll
patient.
note
So
that.
that'd be cool. So again, people who watch the podcast get loads of little tidbits of inside info that you won't get elsewhere. But yeah, so what's your thoughts on that? Because you guys were more towards, you know,
Veneer.
you go to to your
Cabinet.
lab made sort of
Yeah.
restoration.
Yeah, I think that it really depends on the situation. So with dentistry, like it's hard to like say what's right and what's
Mm.
wrong because you don't know what the situation called for, like even they taught us in dental school, in my dental school, like never ever like bad mouth another doctor's
Yeah,
work
no, that goes
because you
without
don't
saying. Yeah,
know, right? And so sometimes, like let's say I was okay, so I did bonding, for example, on the mission trip, and I did it by hand. I did it with Danielle actually. So we did it by hand because we didn't want to use, the hand piece with COVID. And we even scooped out with the spoon,
mm,
like all of the caries, and it was anterior teeth that they had left me. Like I went on the mission trip thinking I'm going to pull teeth,
yeah,
but Dr. Graves did that. I ended up, I ended up doing aesthetic dentistry, which I couldn't believe. And it was so rewarding and fulfilling, but at that moment called for that. Like you're not, how are you going to make a veneer, or how are you going to make,
mm,
a crown? So it depends on well, we kind of have to see what happens with these cases that are being shown on Instagram now with the facials all covered in composite, like all of them. I don't think that I think they're gonna have to be replaced with probably veneers.
yeah.
I think they're gonna leak. Um, yeah, I think they're gonna get staining, like maybe even in the middle of the whole composite. I wouldn't do it. I'm going to do some bonding on a patient coming up soon. I actually just posted her story on Instagram
Yeah.
because she came just for that. But it's also like it's closing some diastemas. And when it's not the whole facial and when you can bevel a little bit, I feel like you can make it really pretty.
Yeah.
But I tell them, I'm really honest with my patients. I'm like, are you sure? Like, I'm just going to give you worst case scenario. Like this might not last a long time. I don't know how much. People always ask me like, how long is this going to last?
I try never to answer that question because I'm just like, are you gonna look
Well, you
after it? Are you
can't.
gonna look after it? Like, have I done it well? I don't know. Well,
I
yes, I have,
don't
but
know.
how are you gonna deal with like whatever? Like, are you just
Right,
gonna bite on I don't know
right.
chicken bones or something? You're gonna go after lamb
Yeah,
chops.
there's no guarantee. It's just like with anything in
Mm,
life. But I don't think I would be placing those composite veneers on people free-handedly. Like if anything, maybe you would make it on a stone model and like cure them and then bond them on or something like that so that they're all perfect. But like to do a full case in composite veneers, maybe it's more affordable for the patient,
I
but
think there's a
it's
difference there you can talk
also
about as well. Where there's maybe some decay and you're restoring the decay and
oh,
also
that's
just changing the shape a little bit as well. Or you're doing, the edge bonding just to refine some
exactly. So I'm going
orthodontics.
to be
So that's
doing the
different.
edge bonding
Yeah.
next week. Exactly. That's fine. I want to do more of that edge bonding just to make things even a little bit more good looking, right? Like
Mm,
more aesthetic. Um, but I don't know if I would do a full mouth, just facial, everything restored, like just a full on makeover.
yeah.
No, I don't think that's good for the patient because they might be happy at first, but you're going to let them down and you're not going to mean to. All of our intentions are good, but it's just science. Like it's going to break down.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, yeah. And so back to my philosophy in dental school here, they teach us like they kind of don't teach us cosmetics.
Mm,
They teach us aesthetics in the sense of try to make what you do match
yeah.
what they have, but not let's brighten everything up while we're at it and change so much. And that's kind of what I'm in cosmetics. Like I want to make it better. I don't want to match what you have. Like if someone comes in and they have, a number 9 and they want to redo it, I'm not going to just redo it. I'm going to prepare them for it, right? I'm going to do more. So, yeah, I'm more into cosmetics, but we weren't taught that.
Mm.
We were taught to just, if it's healthy, leave it alone. But now I see how important it is to give someone like confidence for their life.
It's a different.
Why
It's an
not?
you've gone away from
It is a different philosophy. Yeah.
healthcare to it is cosmetics. It's you're still a doctor of dental medicine, but it's that next step away from treating disease,
Yeah.
isn't it?
Yeah. I love treating disease. I love emergencies because I want to get them out of pain. Like, first off, I'm a healer.
Mm,
Like it's in me to try to heal. But yeah, I've lost the fear of that, of the cosmetics, because I think that we're made to believe that that's not right.
mm,
Like if their teeth have diastemas, and if there's a little gap but there's no decay, leave it alone. I don't believe in that anymore. I think that people should be happy and confident, and
yeah.
like we deserve that.
Do you
Yeah.
I almost forgot my question. It's it's just there. It's a good question as well. When you see like a case or something that comes in, do you feel like your dental school and the technical skills that you gained there was enough to then transfer what's in your mind to a patient's mouth? What was this journey between that two kind of situations, and how's that been?
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah, no, absolutely not. I think that dental school does a good job teaching us how to be a doctor and how to care, and the science about fixing the problems that we're faced with, right?
mm,
Because I tell people, being a dentist is so stressful because we're thrown into problem solving and we are expected to solve it. And we have no idea what the problem is. And so we're like first a detective and trying to quickly on the spot fixing the issues. So I'm like because of the dentistry, it's made me a person that like doesn't like excuses when there's a
yeah,
problem. Like just handle it. Like what do you mean? What do you mean you can't handle it because you don't know how? Figure it out.
mm,
That's what I do on a day to day. Figure it out, right? And so a lot of the time we're experimenting. We're practicing dentistry. We're practicing. Where everything is an experiment. And I'll tell my patients, like yesterday, like this lady comes in and she has a lot of TMJ issues, a lot of pain. And I'm just thinking, I'm like, what do we do? What do we do? Right. And so I'm like, you know what? I'm also going to make you an essay on top of the night guard, on top of the Botox, because she's a dental assistant actually for my endodontist.
right.
Because while you're doing the root canal, while you're assisting, you're going to be wearing the Essex. So you're not grinding your teeth because she's grinding while she's working,
Yeah,
you
it's
know?
working out
It's an experiment.
where in their life the issue
Right.
is coming from.
Right, exactly. So it's like just problem solving, just I don't know. I just had to answer your
Yeah,
question.
I guess it does because I think for me, I'm someone who is very much I don't know about detail oriented, but I like the technical aspects and the patient care is the
Mm,
given, giving them a good experience and
yeah.
giving them all that kind of feeling. I walk them out to reception after and all that kind of thing. Um, but really, for me, it's the
You like the
technical,
side.
the challenge
Yeah.
of getting down some S bend in a canal or getting
Well,
something
yeah, you're
to,
an endo.
get something to
You're
stop
like an endodontist.
bleeding when it's really, really deep. That's the bit that I like. Me versus the
Yeah.
tooth or whatever you want to call it. I don't know.
It's so funny. Yeah, there's so many levels to what we
Mm,
do. It's like on that level. yeah, it's us versus the little tooth and the canal and the heme around the gum line, and we're trying to bond the veneer
Mm,
and this and that. But then at the same freaking time, we're
the person there.
relaxing the patient and energetically like controlling the room. Everything's going fine. There's like so many levels to what we do at the same time, and it's like really nice to be aware of it. But back to the original question, I don't think dental school really prepared us for all of
Yeah.
that. I think that it comes with time, experience, all of this day-to-day situations, and experimenting with how you're going to handle certain things. And then that's how you grow. You can't really learn it. You can get clues, but even when you learn something, unless you're doing it, you forget about
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. Totally.
Someone can tell you, put this step into the next time you do this procedure, you might totally forget about it because you're not used to it. So yeah, no, I don't think we're that prepared. We're given the tools we need, and then we have to go figure it out with those tools.
That almost goes back to what we're talking about, documenting your cases. Maybe if you're,
Mhm.
insane like me, you'll video your cases at some point, which I'm genuinely thinking about doing, so I can go back and watch it in times five and go, that's where I made a mistake, or that's where we're good, or whatever.
Wow,
But
what a good doctor.
again, it's me just going,
It's great.
the patient is almost secondary. It's like I didn't manage to do something. It's
Yeah.
weird, it's weird to say it out loud. It's like you almost don't care what happened to the patient, but you do because it's success rate and it's your work. But it's more, could you do it?
Wow. Okay. Yeah. I mean, lately, yeah, I've been videotaping
Yeah.
too. But I don't want to show
No,
all
I'll
of
probably
it,
never post it.
because yeah, I don't want to show, exactly everything, because I don't think patients want to see that. And a lot of my followers are dentists.
Yeah.
Like every day I get 20 new dental followers. And in a minute, I want like non-dentists to follow me because I want, people who need a smile makeover to find me. Um, but yeah, I don't know. For me, it's like all about the patient,
Yeah.
but there is some moments where I prep the patient on, hey, for these 10 minutes, things are going to get really serious. And your comfort is not going to be my
Mm,
priority because all that
getting
matters
it right.
is those anterior teeth. And so you cannot move. If you're choking, I'm going to keep going. And and I say it so bluntly, like with this smile on my face, that they get
Yeah.
me. They're like, I like that about you. Like, okay, got you. And I'm like, the rest of the time is about you. But those moments, those 10 moments, and I'll tell you when, those 10 minutes, and I'll tell you when, all I care about is your teeth.
Mm.
Okay. And they're like, okay, I appreciate that. Okay, cool.
I might
So,
steal that line for the next two
yeah,
hours.
do it. And it gives you a lot of grace
Yeah.
to just show them that you're a real person. You're doing your best and you're going to take care of them. It together. But if they want you to do a good job for a little while, they're not going to matter. It's going to
Yeah.
be like that canal, you know?
Yeah.
Like if they start coughing while you're you're just going to work through it, right? But just
Well, the rubber dam should be on so they can cough underneath all they like. Has he got Is there a pulse? Yes. Okay, let's carry on.
exactly.
No, yeah, it's getting the balance of, is the patient comfortable, and I really need to concentrate for this particular part of the treatment, and how's it going, and all that sort of thing. Um,
Mhm.
I guess before we start to wrap things up, I want to ask you a little bit about mental health, because I know you guys are, well, we've already spoke about, you guys are friends with the yogis, you go on your retreats, you also had a little bit of a rough time at some point. Um, and I have my own thoughts on depression and how you should work through it. Obviously, it's different for everyone, but I think there are unifying concepts of, things that you can do, and gratefulness. And I mean, me and Brett did a whole podcast about mindfulness and stuff, which was really fun. Apart from some of the sound got corrupted, which really pissed me off. But you do. But that
Let
I
it
think it's a
go.
really important. It's a really important topic to kind of look at, especially with the last year. You know,
Exactly. I think that the nice perfectionist to try to pretend we're all perfect because that's all we post, right?
mm,
Actually be a little bit more each other and like allow each other the grace. Not superheroes. We know I think all doctors want to be on ourselves. I think that we should, be more open with mental health, getting very I'm very sensitive and
mm.
very intuitive and empathetic. But yeah, like I lost my mom. Everyone, sorry, no, we're live, right?
Yeah,
Everyone is, everyone's going through
yeah.
stuff. And it's to
Mm.
everyone we've mentioned, we're like across the world right now. But at the same
Yeah.
we should be okay with that. Like it should be fine. We need to breathe. Um, Ironically, what has gotten me out of my depression is dentistry and the momentum. Like started practice in the middle of
Oh
my
well. Yeah.
grief. Yeah, and I'm gonna grieve forever. But like so low. Now I'm like
Mm.
and it's like, but it gives us purpose. Our dentistry gives balance. Like if you're having a hard time and you don't feel good enough, or you're like being really hard on yourself, like you really need to take some time and step back and allow yourself to feel.
Mm. Yeah.
It's like a really important, like feel the
Metaphorically,
shit,
guys,
sit in
please
the shit.
just no, not
and then
literally, but yeah.
and then remember everything is transitional. Like a minute, everything is a moment, and so you'll feel different tomorrow, and like don't forget that. Like it's not forever. Whatever people are going through is not forever. Their emotions passing, and people need to let them pass and need to do more. They're starting like a button. Christian, you're gonna have to put this out now. A breath.
Mm.
Last year we did it.
I see this. This is the thing. I took a break, so I can't. I really get a lot of the things that you're saying, and I'm someone that when I think I need a break, I'm gone. So I didn't do a podcast. Well, I started off. The first podcast was December 2009. No, September 2019, and then my job started, and I dropped off, and I just didn't have the time. COVID came and I went insane. We were doing an Instagram live a day, sometimes two, and
Wow.
these were intense, in-depth topics, and that went for around 80 days. We did that. Um, and then, switched off around August time and we started doing podcasts instead. I
Mhm.
did a 40 odd podcast from September to January. And then I was kind of just like wiped out. I said, you know what,
Yeah.
I just can't do anymore. I'm supposed to be doing a dental photography series, which is coming, guys. Don't worry, I'm well,
I want
I'm
to see this
planned
one.
for it, but it's all these things that I had. I just ran out of kind of energy to do things.
Hmm.
So I didn't say anything, I just carried on posting, people's pictures, so they get some recognition. But in terms of my content, you'll see if you go back onto my feed, I think January time, it just goes to one a week or one every other week instead of what was 4 times a week, 5 times a week, or whatever I was doing previously. Because part of me was running out of ideas, part of it was lockdown, part of it was just I couldn't be bothered, and
A
I was just
lot.
had other things to do and other things to think about, job hunt, other things going on in life. So you have to take that time. I think that's something that's really important for me. So I totally feel, all the things that you're saying there as well.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I think we have to find a way the nervous energy that it's like a
Mm.
pressure. That's what I experience. It's like the only way for us to grow and continue doing what we do and get better is to learn how to breathe. Breath work. That's like my number one, I think. And it wasn't that until years.
Mm.
Just let it out. But yeah, and then just getting out the music on, moving. Yeah. There's a lot of tools out there, but I
Yeah,
think that we need to stop putting so much pressure.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Totally agree. Totally get it.
I think
Um,
go ahead, sorry.
no, go for it.
I was just okay, well, if it was important, don't lose that. I was just gonna say that it's a little I don't know if you've ever thought of it this way, and I'm curious, like you have like 50,000, 53,000 looking at you, right? I don't know
Mm.
how if you're or a millisecond when they see you, they think of you, and you're like talking through DM to I don't know how many. Do you believe that like it's like an energy transfer even through technology?
Yeah, I mean, I guess especially what I'm doing because people want their picture up and they want it up yesterday. Some people are like that, and I don't want to be the guy that says no because someone's being a bit of an idiot because they probably don't get that there's another 40 people asking every day. So that kind of is in the back of my head sometimes. But to be honest, it doesn't really get to me because I'm very blunt. Like I will just happily not reply for 3 days and just get on with the rest of my personal life, and people that I actually know I'll reply to. So it's kind of difficult initially for me to compartmentalize people I know and actually speak to as friends and then people that want something from me. So I don't know if
Hmm.
that's what you mean, but I definitely kind of feel that to some degree, yeah.
Yeah, well, that like your answer,
Mm.
that even though you're consciously
Yeah, I guess.
yeah, like
Because I mean, there's
energetically
people that
so
I
a
haven't
lot.
met.
Yeah.
Yeah, because there's people that I haven't met that I would now consider as close friends, like actual close friends, but I've never actually met the person.
Mm-hmm.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
So I think that is obviously some sort of connection of energy or personality, whatever you want to call it, that has occurred. Um, mm, yeah, and then yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
and I guess those people make a connection with you when they watch a video and they like, oh, I like his energy or I like her way of doing things. So they'll ask you for advice, and that only comes from a place of I rate this person as opposed to I don't rate them.
True.
So I guess yeah, you're right. Yeah.
Yeah, we're all connected. So
Yeah, I guess when you get to that level as well, I feel like a responsibility to almost push
exactly.
towards like societal level sort of things, things that are going on that are wrong, you have to call it out. Let's just say in the dental world, it'll be, direct Smile Direct Club or whatever they're called,
Oh
those
yeah.
morons.
Oh, I could say
So
a few things
I
about
I
them.
feel like I had to say something about that kind of thing, and then we had BLM and lots of other things going on in the world. So when you have got some sort of a platform, I do feel like that pressure as well to
Mm-hmm.
make sure people understand what's actually going on and not given into misinformation and all that other sort of stuff, because I don't want my platform to be used the wrong way by other people, commenting on things, talking nonsense. So I'm really quick to delete comments that are just wrong. We've had people being really, really disgustingly mean to some people, and like,
No.
yeah. So I'm quick because I don't want people to see
Because you don't
that.
want anyone to see that. You
Yeah.
don't want to spread that. Yeah, exactly.
Mm,
Well, I haven't gotten to the popularity level where that's happened to me. The territory statistics of like more people,
mm,
and it's really sad because yeah, you're like open to anyone, which really a lot of the older generations don't understand us because of that. Like, how
yeah.
can we be so open, accessible? Um, but like, it's just a part of millennials, I guess, just that it comes.
Yeah. I
We kind
mean,
of like want to be and have to be, and control like the negativity too. But yeah, I'm glad you do that. I haven't seen that yet.
yeah.
They don't happen. Like even with my office and patients, I have like a theory. My philosophy is that only amazing patients walk through my door. That
Well,
like bad
when
people
someone
don't
chooses to
even.
see you, they already kind of like you if you're private
Yes.
practice.
Yes. And actually that's been so fun for me. It's just coming for me. They've already looked up, and so they're coming for me and they come from far away too. It's kind of cool.
Yeah.
Whereas when you buy a practice, you're trying to convince all of the existing people.
I I guess that's why I like endo, because while I do like the interaction with the patient, and I do like perio patients coming back having used single tufted brush and the interdental brushes and the water pick and everything, and then they come back and it's nice and pink instead of fiery red. Like
You don't have to talk to your
that
patients
takes
because they have a rubber tam on.
yeah, because yeah, you get referrals. I'm starting really happy, it's starting to happen that people are referring me cases, um, which is amazing. Uh, but those people come in, they know they're there for a root canal. They go, "Can you save it? Can you not save it?" I say, "Yes or no." We go and sort it out. Then it's very
You're
transactional.
you're a hero. You're a hero. You
Uh,
didn't have to do too much talking. Oh no, my cases, we're talking
yeah,
the whole. I already go into work and hang out, even when I'm
yeah,
working.
yeah. There is that as well, but it's not like I guess that's with all the colleagues. I have that with my colleagues, you know, because I work in an 18 surgery practice, and there's 30 dentists who are working on and off during different days.
Wow.
So it's amazing for someone. They didn't have anyone doing endo. Me, who's trying to get in towards referral endo, perfect place, and I have my own scope. And you know, I say, look, I've got this. You want me to come and start working? And they're like, yeah, of course. So
Yeah, they're all
yeah,
little different entities. Yeah. And the
very different.
endodontist, like I have three endodontists I refer to, and just depending on the patient personality, usually. Um, everyone's on their own. They have their own offices, and they're the only doctors. So they're opening a group practice, doctors to help me,
Yeah.
definitely. Yeah.
Yeah, because it feels to me like I don't know how long I'll be there. Hopefully for a while. It feels to me like I've gone back to university because there's so many people
That's
around,
so fun.
and it's like, yeah, I had
I
this
would
case
love
in.
that. Like, want to go to lunch? How is COVID
Yeah,
over there
exactly.
right now?
The vaccine seems to be doing its work. So I didn't go back until I had 2 doses, and I waited 2 weeks after the second dose. So I said,
Second dose.
no, I've had them. I didn't go back to work until I had the second one.
No.
That was my. Oh right, when did I get it? 8 weeks ago, because I've done 6 weeks. So
Yeah.
not too bad. Quite
I
well.
was working the whole time. Like, I took and a half off, and it was so nice for me to be home. It was the first
Yeah.
like break that I've had. My hair grew.
So did mine. Did it get thicker? Because I'll start doing that as well. I'm getting a little bit thin in places. You know,
You
I
gotta
need
do it
those
out.
tips.
Swear to God, there's like a little bit of like less
Mm.
stress. Ironic was happening. Like, we'll be fine. Like,
Patients aren't going
we're all
anywhere.
gonna, huh?
The patients aren't going anywhere. They're staying in the houses. When I'm let out, they'll be let out. Yeah.
Really unstressed for the first time in my life.
Mm.
And I was home for 2 months and last year. So,
Yeah, 2 months.
and then I got really busy with cosmetic dentistry, which is so ironic.
It's the Zoom boom. That's what they're calling it. The Zoom boom, because they're sat in front, basically like we are today, you know, and looking at their own teeth plus everybody
Uh,
else's on Zoom conferences and Skype conferences,
oh my
Microsoft
God. Is
Teams,
that what it
and then they go, "Oh my God, my teeth are the worst in the room." Then one guy gets the teeth done, and now someone else has got the worst teeth in the room.
Okay, I had not heard of this. Happened. I literally thought it was a combination of social media making dentistry look
Oh, that as
cool, just
well. Yeah.
like the new job. It's the new plastic
Mm.
surgery. Like, I'm pretty much a plastic surgeon right now doing your procedure, but you're awake. So that I had already put in.
Mm.
But it was just like about to happen, and it happened during COVID. So
Yeah. Well, I think every cosmetic guy around in the UK is booked fully. There's a friend of mine, and I think he's got a 7 or 8 month waiting list for an assessment.
woo!
Yeah, for an assessment, and people are not going to someone else. They'll wait because they want to see him. So I think there's some guys out there who've absolutely cashed in perfectly for this. Um, and I think it's down to. Mm, yeah, yeah, definitely. Um, final couple questions, and these ones are going to be a little bit different. So, is there anything that you think is really, really true or important, and nobody else agrees with you on it? So it's like the one thing you're always telling people, and always having the fight about it, and saying this is the absolute, whatever.
Ooh, I don't really fight about something that just came to mind, so I'm gonna go with it. It's basically telling people not to worry of how they're going to make things
Mm.
happen. They're just gonna, and you don't have to worry about how. And right, I could see your head turning on. You're like, no, because you're like more. I feel like you're more rational, like analytical, and so you're like thinking of the plan and the number.
I have like I have the overall plan, and then individual bits. I'll do it step by step. Like what comes next now, what comes next now. I do wing it, but like not overall.
Yeah,
I don't know if that makes
exactly.
sense.
Well, I don't wing it per se overall, but I don't worry about the journey of like how these opportunities are going to arise and present themselves. I just
Mm.
think of like the outcome or the final product or what I want, and I'm like, it's going to happen. Let it go. So like when people or friends of mine want advice and they're like, I don't know how this or I don't know how I'm going to make this work, and I'm like, can you see yourself there? Can you envision it? Can you like feel it? Okay, if you do, don't worry about it. Like it's
Yeah.
something like it's like a new age.
Yeah, I guess I think that's important. It's that same sort of thing you were talking about before, about taking a step back and, feeling your feelings and having a moment to yourself and all those kinds of things that you can then get.
Sometimes it's comfortable, but you have to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess the question, I'm asking everybody these days, been a very weird last 15 months, but how are you really doing?
What?
Is that making sense of the question? It's like, how are you really doing? Like, are you doing okay?
Oh, that's the
Or is
question.
it's like,
How am I
how are
really
you
doing?
really doing? Yeah. When someone says, "Oh, I'm doing good," like, how you really do?
Come on, tell me the truth. I'm doing really well. I'm doing a lot better than what I could have imagined
Mm.
with like my whole identity changing 4 years ago and losing her only child. Every
Mm.
like, you're gonna be doing veneers all the time. Do mine. And I was like, no, mom, you don't need them. You're crazy. And now I look at her pictures and I'm like, she was right. She did need them.
Yeah.
She know. So really good. Like I
Mm.
have nothing to complain about, even though I want to complain. I'm
Yeah. If you spoke to me 10 weeks ago, I would have told you. I want to sleep.
excited. So I'm like constantly excited and like have so much amazing stuff going on. But it's
I don't work a lot. I wish I could say I work 3 days. I do 8 a.m. till 2 p.m.s, and I might do a Sunday. I haven't decided.
opening up Sunday to go do some girls veneers who like
Mm.
messaged me on Instagram, and I'd like veneers by June 4th. And I'm like, uh
Good time.
I'm booked out. Like what do you mean I'm booked out? I have nothing available. And even then, how long do you think it would take to get back?
Yeah.
No free time.
Do you? I think this is one thing. So we spoke about your philosophy versus the UK sort of philosophy of a line bleach bond, and then some people doing full facial veneers. I think the place where I turn away from the more American way, should we say,
What's the American way?
is where I feel like if we're doing veneers, which I'm totally for, I still want to do some pre-orthodontics. Not that I'm ever going to do any veneers, because I want things to be moved in the right place. I'm more worried
Yeah.
about devitalization. I'm worried
Mhm.
about, okay, what's the bite going to look like? Not, oh, well, I need it
Right.
done for my son's wedding in 3 weeks' time. I was like, well, your son was getting married probably 2 years ago, because that's how long engagements take. Should have come then and get it sorted. You know, it's one of those things. It's like, well, I kind of feel like saying tough. You can't have it just because you want it. We'll do it the right way or not at all. And is that something that you struggle with at all?
I do a lot of ortho first.
Mm,
I'm right now, I don't know. I have a ton of patients. So
yeah,
crossbite, and want 8 veneers and it's like minor, still minimal prep on most of the teeth, I'll do it. I'll do it.
yeah.
Um,
That's a different situation, though, isn't it?
yeah, but like I have a few patients where like on the lower anteriors are really crowded. Um,
Mm,
depends on the situation. It really depends on like the risks of which way would I go. Like I want to make the patient happy. I also want to do the best thing for them. No, it could be a risk.
yeah,
So it's
yeah,
like it's situation based and
yeah, yeah. Of course.
years. But there's a lot of people waiting in Invisalign.
Mm.
So
No,
yeah.
I get that. It's just one thing, especially like from an endo point of view. Lower incisors have got two canals, and if they start closing up, oh my god, please no. I just don't. Yeah, it's hard. It's hard enough as it is doing the lower incisor. But they've got two canals and they're sclerosed because we've smashed a huge crown on it or a big veneer prep. Then it's just making things harder and harder. So I guess that's something that I'm always like thinking about when I see some of these cases. But the answer's there, guys. Dr. Vida's told us. Yeah. Cool. I think we should probably call it there. We've done like 90 minutes.
Okay, that was
Been
fun.
amazingly fun.
That was drinking my juice right now.
Yeah. Guys, Dr. Vida, make sure to check her out on Instagram, Dr.
Thank
Jocelynn
you.
Vida. Did I say that right?
Jocelyn. Yeah,
Jocelynn
Jocelyn
Vida.
Vida.
You're also on YouTube. Totally, yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm absolutely going to be coming out at some point. I mean, I've told lots of people I'm coming out to lots of places, so I don't know when I'm doing all this, but I definitely need to come out.
Don't worry about how or when. Keep thinking like you're gonna be
That's it.
traveling. Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. As soon as things open up, I'm definitely taking some trips out to somewhere. I have no idea where, but I'm definitely putting LA and now Orange County
Thank
on
you.
the
I was
list, it
gonna say
seems.
I'm in Orange
There we go.
County.
I just remember, see, in my head, LA is California. I
And that's
always
it.
just say LA,
That's like this much
but
of
it's the other way
California.
around. It's California is the state, and then LA is the city. Now, yeah. Again, my
LA is the
yeah.
most yeah. There's some beautiful places out here.
Yeah, I'll be there. I've got family there, so I'll be there. For sure. It'll be great. Guys, this has been Jocelynn Vida. On our what number podcast are we? I think this is number 45. I will be doing more podcasts soon. I haven't got anyone booked, but I'm sure we'll have someone cool ready for you. And if you were watching earlier, you heard we're doing the Endomental series, which is going to be about 20 episodes long, in depth, how to do your endo with all the world's top endodontists. So that's going to be pretty cool as well, guys. It's been a good one.
Amazing.
And we will see you guys later. Make sure to leave a comment down below, subscribe if you're new, and what else do you have to do? Go and follow Dr. Vida. That's it.
Ah.